Hello, welcome to Record Sports Hotline Live, brought to you by Scottish Water. Every save counts on the pitch and off it. Keep showers short. Only boil what you need and don't leave the tap running. Goals matter, but water is always worth saving. Search Scottish Water today. My name is Daniel Cott. I'm delighted to be inside the Boston Stadium's Media Centre. I'm joined by Cheery and Cheerier, Keith Jackson and Scott McDermott. There they are.
Don't start me, Dan. Honestly. So that was a 2-hour bus journey, 2 hours and 5 minutes to cover 28 miles to get from Boston to the stadium. We're in the media centre now. We then had absolute carnage trying to get through security. Sniffer dogs. We had to lay our bags out in a car park while sniffer dogs went round it. I've got a chicken sandwich in there, a buffalo chicken sandwich, no less.
I thought I've got a steak sandwich as well, I know.
So, yeah, but we're here, and now we can actually concentrate on the matter in hand. As you can see, this aircraft hangar, isn't it, of a press centre, media centre.
A lot busier the day than it was for.
Well, that I tell you what, Dan, you'll have noticed that yourself. There was the only two countries that had any interest in Haiti versus Scotland was Haiti and Scotland. Nobody cared. I actually think because of the stories that have been coming out of Boston in terms of the Tartan Army's takeover of the city, the way Boston's responded to the Tartan Army, all of a sudden it feels like Scotland are the heart of a big story at this World Cup, Dan.
Yeah, absolutely.
This place is rammed. Our media bus was rammed. There wasn't a spare seat on it, and it was people from all countries with a guy, Argentinian journalist behind us. They're coming from all over because Scotland are becoming a real story of this World Cup.
Also, Jacko, Morocco are the 6th best team in the world.
Of course, that's a thing.
They're a big story. They're seen by many as potential winners if they get to the semi-finals of the last one. So, there's a lot more interest. There's a lot more on this game.
Totally.
Scotland 2 points ahead of Morocco in the group. Brazil to play later on. So, you can definitely feel it ramping up in here.
Well, when you think about it, Scott, it took before the Haiti game, it took us about 45 minutes on the bus to get from Boston to the stadium. Then when we got to the stadium, we just breezed through security. It was not, but this feels like up 5, 6, 7 levels. That was chaotic out there. It wasn't well run.
It was bad. It was bad today.
But yeah, as you said, Scotty, Brazil and Miami's going to be interesting. And you've got these wee FIFA. I get manhandled by a FIFA volunteer. I was just telling James McFadden, he says, "All right, did they know you?" Aye.
For anyone watching at home, this is the glamorous side that you don't get to see. 2 hours and 10 minutes in the bus, and just as we were about to get off, Scott put his head in his hands there, Keith, and went, "See, Daniel, see if you ask me one more time if we're going to go 5 at the back, if we're going to change formation."
Which, see if you ask me about Kieran Tierney.
Well, I've actually just spoke to James McFadden, who knows a lot more than me, and he agrees with you, Daniel. He thinks they're going to go with a back 5. Again, I'll be surprised, but of course it's a possibility. So we just need to wait and see. I think the team news will be out in about an hour. So it's going to be really interesting to see how Scotland set up here.
But just
I can see it as well. And then that training ground conversation that we were talking about a few days ago with Tierney and Steve Clarke. So maybe you've been right all along, Dan. My God, that'd make a first.
That would be a worrying.
We don't.
We'd
be a worrying omen, wouldn't it? Don't.
In other news,
go on.
Scott McDermott successfully navigated his way around a ton of Cheesecake Factory meatloaf last night. I've never. Honestly, it was impressive.
Well, it wasn't a successful mission because I couldn't get it all eaten. I got to my fourth slab and had to give up.
When it was brought to the table by the waiter, Scott just said, "Listen, nobody talk to me for the next 20 minutes, all right?" It was like your Moby Dick.
He's disengaging from company for 20 minutes just to get a head start.
I don't like talking when I'm eating.
Very serious. It's a very serious business.
Can I do 2 things at one time?
As you just said, Keith, Scott rather, will be expecting the team news soon. So there's not a great deal for us to really talk about on the hotline or predict, but we've got some comments coming in. Sing the Blues says it'll be 6-4-0. Scott wants to know who's playing up front on his own. Nicola says she's put a 5 in Morocco to win, to put the jinx in Morocco, which will make Scotland win. She says she did the same thing when Andy Murray won Wimbledon.
Good on her. Good on you, Nicola.
Exactly. Multiple says easy game plan
tonight.
Score
that,
early.
By the way.
Multiple
says Wimbledon
easy
for
game.
Andy Murray winning.
Which one? The first one, the second one. Sorry, it's a slight delay there. Sorry. Forget who's the star here. Multiple man says easy game plan tonight. Score early, then park every bus we have, knowing they need to score to stop us qualifying. Scott reckons there's more chance for a result against Brazil. Look, are we in for a tense night, guys? Is this going to be edge of the seat stuff?
Well, I hope so, because that means it's close.
We're still in it.
We're still in it. Listen, I was in St Etienne when Morocco were battered us that night, and it was a really sort of unedifying spectacle from a Scottish perspective. It was sore, and you could tell right away from that game we weren't at the races. It just became a long, horrible, slow death to that World Cup campaign.
They scored early that night.
I think it's like, do you know what's got? It's almost one of them. There are certain events in your life that you sort of box off, put it away.
Yep.
I would need to go and actually look back, but I'm pretty sure it was. You could tell game over. I think they did get an early goal, and then it was just
sending off.
It was just a matter of how much more messy that night was going to get, and not Messi, the good Messi, Messi and the bad one.
That's the key, Dan, to this game tonight. Scotland, they need to stay in the game. We're playing against a top 10 team in the world. We know the talent that they've got, the individual talent. I think, as you said the other day, they've created some kind of record for successive wins in international football. So It's a top team we're playing against. So against any top team, but especially at a major tournament, you need to stay in the game. Don't put yourself out yet early. Don't give away any stupid fouls around the box.
Which
kicks.
Which is why Steve Clarke might very well be planning to go the 5.
Good.
Stay in the game. And the many times that we said since this tournament began, we've got the players, we've got a number of systems that they feel comfortable in. They know them back inside and out because they've worked with Steve Clarke for so long. And at various phases in the Steve Clarke journey, he's used various different systems. But all the players are familiar, or certainly 90% of the players will be familiar. And that's actually a strength of ours now. People call for change and they're fed up with Steve Clarke. That's one of the reasons it works, is that this group of players have been together for such a length of time. Whatever system he chooses tonight, they're all going to know what their job is within that system.
Yep. Whether
it's a change to a 5, whether it's a 4-2-3-1, whatever the system, or he goes with a 4-4-2. I think it's highly unlikely, but he could. And the benefit from a Scottish perspective is that these guys, as I said, they could do it in their sleep. They know exactly what's required of them.
The important thing for me, Dan, is...
And we can switch during the game, Scott. If it's whatever system's not working, we've got players, flexibility that we can change. We can just go, we can change from a 3 at the back. We can go for it without actually having to make that many substitutions. We can change an entire structure.
But see, as much as we're right to talk up Morocco for the strengths they've got, I really hope there's no fear factor for Scotland tonight. We've mentioned it for the last few days. I'm not saying the pressure's off, but by winning that first game, get the 3 points in the bag, there is a weight off their shoulders, getting that monkey off their back. So, and we've got top players. No, you're not telling me your McTominays and Robertsons and McGinns. No, they shouldn't be going into a game worrying about Brahim Diaz or Ashraf Hakimi or Saibari or whatever. They're top players, but those guys that we're talking about regularly compete with them at Champions League level. So,
they're very top level.
I mean, Morocco will be confident getting into the game, but they also know Scotland have got some top players at their disposal. So.
And let's not forget, boys, the Moroccans are dealing with a bit of a bombshell today inside their own camp, involving their own captain.
Yep.
And you know something? I'm struggling to think that that's not going to have any kind of impact on this, because he's
Oh, it
our
must,
best
Keith. It
player.
must.
Yeah. Scott, I mean, you know the details of that. I mean, I'm guessing everybody back home has heard about this.
Well, you're right. I mean, I think it only emerged this morning, Daniel, that he's obviously going to stand trial in a court case on a rape charge, which is incredible when you think it coming out on the eve of this game. So,
Well, it's actually in the morning of the game.
aye. So I mean, Jacko's right. I've got no idea how it'll impact him or the team, but it's going to have some effect. You would think.
Oh, of course, he's only human.
A negative effect. You would think, even just in a mental sense. So, listen, who knows? Who knows? But I go back to it. You can't get into games like this fearing the opposition, fearing what the opposition might do to you. As Jacko says, they have their issues to deal with as well, and they'll also know that we've got some top players. So you need to be confident that you can get in and compete. And that's what MD asks. That's what any supporter in here are asking this Scotland team, is that they go and compete. As I say, don't put yourself out the game early. Stay in it. Give Morocco something to think about. Obviously, you're going to need to be compact and strong defensively, but pose a threat at the other end as well. Let Morocco know that you're in the game, and as I say, just stay in it for as long as possible. If you do that, who knows what might happen.
I'll go back to it though, Scott. Hakimi is he's their talisman. They've got good players all over the pitch. Don't get me wrong. It's not they're not a one man band by any stretch of the imagination. But Hakimi is the main man. There's no doubt about it. Now, where is his head at? Where is it at? Does he even feel comfortable playing? These are all things that we'll only see if he's under. This is so far from ideal to prepare for a World Cup match that something like this drops. Now, by the way, I'm not playing any fiddles. There's no sympathy for the guy himself. These are really serious allegations, and there seems to be enough behind them for the French judiciary serves to be pushing ahead with some. So no sympathy there, but I do wonder where his head's at. You're thinking about it, this is really serious potential jail time. Is he in the state of mind to be able to go out onto this pitch and concentrate fully on what the task in hand? If you were a betting man, would you go to the bookie right now, Scott, and say he's a potential red card? If his head's not where it should be, and he's such an important player for their team, that it's shocking developments, but you wonder what sort of impact it might have on the game itself.
Right, before I wrap up this truncated Hotline Live, and before we look ahead to the game, let me throw some of the comments at you, because we've got some really good comments coming in, and we want to get your guys' take on it. First of all, Scott says, he asked, do you think we've got more chance of a result against Brazil? And that's echoed by Marzuno, who says, did nobody watch the game against Brazil? Morocco are on a different planet altogether. I mean, I get him asking you how long a piece of string is before the game, but what do you think?
I think Morocco were the better team against Brazil. From what I've seen, Brazil came into the game second half. They'll probably feel they deserved their point. Listen, it's two top teams. In terms of if Scotland got a better chance of a result, I think the whole picture changes, Daniel, after these games today. It depends who's playing for what the positions are on the table.
Yeah.
I don't think you can just say off the bat today, Brazil will be an easier game than Morocco. And I think that's silly. We need to wait and see where we are after today. I don't think you'd want to be going in against Brazil in any game where they have to go and win to qualify. So let's wait and see how the results go today, and then we'll assess how the Miami game's going to look.
Yeah, I think as well. Steve Clarke mentioned yesterday in his press conference, Daniel, that Morocco had the best of the first half against Brazil by a distance. But he said Brazil then used their tournament experience, to get back level in the match and ended up with a draw. It's Steve Clarke has been so impressed by Morocco that he says he thinks, in his estimation, they're a better Moroccan team now than the one which reached the semis 4 years ago. So Scotland won't, certainly the manager and the players won't be underestimating what's to come here. Nobody is. But I don't know about you, Scott, but I just come back to I've just got this feeling strange things are happening at this World Cup, and I can't help but feel that this might be our time. And I don't know how it's going to happen. As you said right at the top, Dan, I really hope it is a long, tense, nervous night, because that means we've got a chance of getting what we want out of it. What I don't want, obviously, is a repeat of St Etienne in 1998, which was really, really difficult to swallow.
I think if we concede early, Dan, we could be in trouble.
Aye.
That's what worries me. Scotland need to start the game really strongly. Don't let themselves get dominated early on. Don't give them loads of chances. I think if you do that and get through the first 15 minutes, you then can play your way into the game and pose more of a threat yourself. I think if Scotland can do that, I think the longer the game can go at 0-0, the better chance we'll have of getting something out of the game. That's how I see it. As I say, losing a goal early, and look, this Scotland team's full of resilience. No, they don't strike me as a group of players that are going to buckle, if things don't go to plan. However, if you go a goal down to this Morocco team, given the quality they've got, I think it's a real uphill task to get yourself back in it and get a positive result. So the key is stay in the game for as long as you can, give them something to worry about, pose a threat yourself, and as I say, I think as the game goes on and you're still in it, I think that gives us the best chance.
I like the noises that are coming out of camp. I like the way that Steve Clarke spoke yesterday at his press conference. He was bullish, and there was a boldness about how he was talking. That stuff vanished in the last two tournaments. We rolled over.
That's what I mean about the fear factor.
I think the real pressure, the real strain, not fear, but it was pressure, was on the first game, because it was simply a must-win game, and they knew the World Cup was over for them if they failed to do that, and they knew that everybody'd be hounded for it. Everybody club them over the head for it. That's when the pressure was on. I actually think if we'd get a second goal against Haiti, we might have went on to win that game more comfortably, 3 or 4. But I felt as the second half was going on, and it was just that one goal, I thought the pressure was weighing down on every single one of these players. I don't expect to see that tonight. I expect to see a more aggressive, front-footed, belligerent, ambitious Scotland performance, because we are now at this point. We've got 2 cracks at us, guys. A win or a draw, and we're there. And look, we're not going to be going at them toe to toe. We shouldn't be leaving big gaps at the back. We shouldn't be trying to, match them in terms of possession, even, because I think Morocco have a lot more of the ball there. But I do think when we get the opportunity, we need to spring, we need to be aggressive, we need to be all the things that we weren't in the last 2 Euros. Handbrake needs to come off when it's appropriate to come off. And I think Steve Clarke, I think he accepts that mistakes have been made along the way, especially at the last Euros. I just want to see a real Scotland performance tonight. No matter how the result goes, Dan, no matter what happens, I want a real Scotland performance. I want to see us playing without fear. Yes, be respectful. Yes, understand you're not going to have the ball for long periods of time, but be aggressive. Go after them. Get in their faces. Get up against them, and really give it a go. Get the ball into the penalty box. Get the ball forward. Give them something to think about. Don't just sit and duck against.
You need to play with intensity, on and off the ball, particularly off the ball. And I thought that was lacking a wee bit against Haiti, especially early on the other night. I know they
were so slow. We were so passive. People taking 3 and 4 and 5 touches before moving the ball.
You'll not get away with that against Morocco.
We had Ben Doak out the right hand side. He's crying out for some service, and it was a real stodgy, I thought, nervous look Scotland performance. That performance won't do tonight, Scott.
That pace that we played at, you'll get punished if you play like that.
You'll kill us. They'll open us up.
They're too good for that.
Yeah.
If you don't match their intensity and tempo, Dan, then you're done for. So that's a given.
First.
That's a base.
That's the absolute first.
I want to wrap up with your last minute predictions, guys. Before I do that, I've got a flurry of comments that I need to get through. But just before that, Stephen's put in a great question, Keith. He says, would Keith take a win tonight if it meant he had to get a season ticket to the Red Sox for a year and not miss a game?
That is a good question.
Let's worry about the details later, Stephen. I'll take the season ticket and then I'll punt it in the black market or something.
Take a season ticket, just not turn up for any game.
Apparently you've got it, but I'll work something out. Yeah, let's concentrate first things first. Let's get a win.
Right, let me run through a few of these, get your guys' take on it before I let you go. Gillian says it'll be a 2-1 win. Ben Gannon-Doak must start. One striker should be Dykes with McTominay further forward. Come on, Scotland, please turn up to the basics correctly. We'll be proud of you. Tappy says, I think Morocco's going to win, but Scotland's a great team. I respect them. Since I'm a Moroccan, no hate. Kelso says 1 point would be enough for Scotland to qualify. I expect Steve Clarke to go 4-5-1 the next 2 games, but we must offer a threat going forward. Inviting Morocco and Brazil onto us is football suicide. Green Machine says we should do Graham Souness, start a wee fight in the first 15 minutes to get the adrenaline going. Maureen says, hope it's a win. We are super proud of our supporters. You've done us proud. Go Scotland. Show us how it's done. And Alan says, I just want to wish the boys all the best for tonight. Let's do it for the fans. We lost before the Haiti game had even kicked off. Let's get out the group for the first time ever. So just briefly on that
I've
then,
just
guys.
been assaulted by James McFadden. See that? That was on camera.
You're going to get assaulted by anyone.
You might be a Scotland legend.
Exactly.
Well,
the last comment.
At the front, that's for sure. It's an upgrade.
Craig says, as mad as it sounds, I think our boys will be more comfortable going into this game than the Haiti game. This is the night to become Scotland legends, and I believe we will do it. David says, Daniel, we must score first. If we don't, it'll be a long night. Marzuno wants to know what the heat's like. It's not as bad as it usually is. Is that fair?
Yeah.
It's not quite as
mid-20s. Mid-20s, there's a breeze, which is actually making it feel a bit fresher as well. It's not as humid. It's not as clammy. I don't think we can argue with the conditions at all. Should suit our players. Our players are now acclimatised. It takes 2 weeks.
And they're also familiar with this venue.
with this stadium.
Familiar with the venue, yep. And no, I'm not saying it's not. It's not a decent temperature. There is a decent temperature, but it's not the stifling stuff.
It's not suffocating.
Struggling to breathe conditions. I think our guys are more than prepared to deal with the heat today. Yeah, absolutely.
In the last couple of comments, Nicholas says Scotland must not sit back. We must go forward as much as possible. Jack says we only need one up front. We can score from midfield. And 100 Steak says if we beat Morocco, we'll be considered contenders to win the whole thing. Right, very finally, guys. I am going 1-0 Scotland. McTominay header. What's your predictions?
You're very specific about the header. Have you had a vision?
I know these things. I know my football, Keith. Do you know what I mean? I know these things.
I'm going to go one each, Dan. I've put that in the Daily Record this morning. Listen, it might be heart ruling head. Who knows? Because as I said earlier, if Morocco get ahead, I think it'll be tough to beat or even get a point off it. But try to stay positive. I've got a feeling Scotland can get something, and a one each would be brilliant. I could see us maybe taking the lead, and then obviously Morocco getting back into it, and we'll need to work hard for a point. But I'll go one each. Cheers, Hope.
Keith?
I've gone 1-0 Scotland, Dan.
Yes.
And again, let's Scotty. There is an element of me thinking, am I mad? Am I now so exhausted after 20 days on the spin that I've become delusional? There's a big possibility of that, by the way, because I was probably pretty delusional before the 20 days. But for whatever reason, call me crazy, whatever it is, I do just have this feeling. This is weird things are happening at this World Cup, as I said, and there would be nothing weirder than Scotland finally getting out of a group. That be because when you talk about strange things happening, this is something that never happens, and it's never happened in 9, or this is the 9th World Cup. It's never happened in 8 previous World Cups and 4 Euros. This is something that does not happen. So if you're looking for strange, maybe that's where the smart money is.
Brendan sums it all up in the comments by saying, I think Scotland are going to give a massive performance. And Brendan, I agree. But for now, I think that brings us to the end of this Hotline Live, brought to you by Scottish Water. We'll be back, though, in the early hours of tomorrow morning, guys. We don't let the viewers of this show down, do we?
Well, we'll be back at the hotel late. So I mean, you're talking UK time, probably about 4 o'clock in the morning. By the time we get back to the hotel, maybe a wee bit later than that. But before we go to our bed, we'll flip open the laptop and we'll do a wee breakfast bundle. Scotty, are we going to be celebrating?
Yes. Aye. Here's hope.
That's all I need. That's all I need for this wee man.
I can't think about Hotline Live later on. Just tell me where I need to be, what time it's at, what seat I'm sitting on.
It's reached that stage.
Aye.
It has reached that stage where it's just all you can do is put one foot in front of the next and just keep going.
Exactly.
Do whatever it is that you're pushed. Just get there and do it.
Absolutely.
But you say that. Wait till you feel the energy levels begin to rise, Scott. When we're sitting in that press box and the teams come out, and I'm going to go outside because it's behind glass, the press box, Dan.
It's not ideal.
As you know. Well, it's a little bit like watching a game on television with the sound down. I didn't feel that we really got the full scale of the Tartan Army invasion last time. I'm not going to make the same mistake again. I'm going to be outside the press box before kick-off just to get a real feel for it and feel the volume. I think it will come up through your feet, Scott. We didn't get that. It kind of felt as if you were a little bit isolated from it. I want to feel the passion and the real power, because Tartan Army, God knows how they're getting here. It is a nightmare to get down here from Boston, but they will be here, and they'll be here for kick-off, and there'll be thousands of them, and the Moroccans will bring a great support. But yeah, see, once that energy starts to hit, Scott, half an hour before kick-off, trust me, mate, it'll be like an adrenaline shot.
Thank you so much for all the comments. They've been brilliant tonight, particularly brilliant. We really appreciate it. And I'm led to believe that our next edition of Hotline Live will be live on our YouTube channel for 10 a.m. tomorrow morning with the aftermath of tonight's game.
It's not Hotline Live though, is it? Hotline recorded.
Hotline recorded, aye, good point. Hotline Live, sort of live, maybe.
The breakfast bundle, Dan, the breakfast
That's
bundle.
It, the breakfast bundle. Scott Keith, it's been a pleasure. I'll see you in about 20 seconds. And for everyone watching at home, thank you so much. And come on, Scotland, let's do this. Thanks for watching.
Come on, boys. Come on.